Hi all. Hi on YouTube, hi on Facebook, hi out there, wherever. When I asked the Lord what to do this Bible study about, He told me to go the extra mile. I said, well, sorry, we already did that. He said there's a part two. He said there's a part two for go the extra mile, part two. And this is what we're doing today. Um, anyway, let me start off with the verse from Matthew 24, 25:40, the New International Version. Uh, the king will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these my brothers or sisters, you did of mine, you start over. The king will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these my brothers and sisters of mine, you've done it unto me. You've done for me. Um, well, that's two international words, but it's not really word for word, though. I messed up some. Um, but anyway, this the parable is taken from Matthew 25. It's been talking about the judgment between the judgment of the last day. Between the goats and the sheep. Um, but so saying, whatever as the way you treat us, his brothers and sisters, you're treating him the same way. So something to think about there. Okay. So it's talking about feelings, giving shelter, feeding, giving shelter, clothing, visiting, incarcerated, and sick. Visiting the incarcerated and sick. But it's not just about those things. It's also about going above and beyond, going the extra mile, doing more than what we think we can do. Yes, pushing a limit. How about that? Uh, do to others as you would have like them to do to you. That's Luke 6:31, the New International Version. Um, now, would you like people to go overboard, to bend over backwards to help you? Like if you were stuck in the mud and people were passing by, would you want someone to step out of line and bend over backwards to help you out of the mud? I'm sure you would. So do the same for others. I'm, as I said in the blog a long time ago, maybe you might help Reverend Alden. You might help Reverend Alden do something, and you might take Reverend Alden out to dinner. That doesn't mean that Reverend Alden has to take you out. No, but someone else might. Yes, I I had this. I had someone do this to me, but he didn't get it right. He took me out to lunch, paid everything with coupons. Then he called me and said, "Now you've got to take me out to lunch." I said, "No, no, no, it's not. That doesn't work like that." Besides the fact I didn't have any coupons. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. If he took me out to lunch, paid for me, he took me out to lunch, someone else would take him out to lunch sometime. I might. Doesn't have to be me though. Doesn't have to be me. So I mean, if someone were to give me, you know, if like Jake decides to give Sam $1 million, Jake shouldn't necessarily look at Sam say, Sam, you've got to give me $1 million. Now, someone might give him $1 million, but not necessarily Sam. And I don't know when it'll be. Shouldn't have this. I to bring it personal. I am. I used to. Well, when I was driving. Right now, I'm not driving. But when I was driving, I used to stop and I play crossing guard from my car. If someone, well, had to go, I'd wave them on. Wave this guy on. Wave that guy on. And I would help people in trouble situations like that. Well, one day I was trying to get out of a parking lot onto the road, and it was a busy road. There were people going, and no one would let me by. Finally, someone stopped and let me by. That was a nice gesture. No, I did that just to others, so they did it to me. Mm, well, anyway, okay. So you don't be the one who has to. I mean, just because you're the one who's helped doesn't mean you can help them. You might not be able to. You might not have the money to do it. You might not have anything to do it. But someone will help them. Or you might help someone else. They might not help you. But someone will help you. Someone will come to your aid, help you when they uh, says do unto others as you would have uh, others do to you. I'm going to take that scripture and tell it a different way. You don't do it unto others. No one's going to do it for you. You don't do it for anyone else. No one's going to do it for you. But if you do it for others, you might do it for him, and he helps you. Well, you do it for him, someone else will come along and do it for you. Whatever. Um, yeah, that doesn't mean they will, but only that you want them to. Someone else will. Someone else will. So when you're doing it for them, get your sights off them, of them helping you. They might not help you at all, but someone will. Um, okay, would you want someone to go the extra mile for you? Well, you make it a habit going the extra mile for other people. It'll be brought back for you. You know the old saying, "Pay it forward." Well, there was a movie one time called "Play It Forward." They did other things for someone did someone helped someone with her injured with her car. Someone else gave him a car, and so on and so on. Well, because he started helping them one person, someone else helped him, someone else helped them, someone else helped them. It goes on. But there's one thing you gotta do: get into the habit of doing it. It might not just. I mean, you do it once, don't maybe no one will do anything for you. You do it twice, might not. But if you get into the habit of doing it, someone's going to do it for you. That's the way it is. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. So Matthew 12:31, the New International Version, says, talking about the greatest commandments. Oh, it said the second is like this: love your neighbor as yourself. There's no greater commandment. There's no commandment greater than these. The first was love the Lord your God, blah blah blah, and then the second was love your neighbor as yourself. Uh, those are the rich. I don't know if they're actually one, two, three. I don't know whether they're actually the first two commandments, but there's the greatest two. See, how would you love yourself? Would you go the extra mile for you? I'll go for the extra mile for them. Do to them what you would have them do to you. Yes, as again, I'm not saying they might not do it for you, but you do it for them. Someone else will come alongside and do it for you if you get into the habit of doing it for others. Um, so, would you go the extra mile for the person in the mirror? Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Who do you see? You see yourself. You should see yourself in the mirror. You don't see yourself in the mirror. You're a vampire. But I don't think so. That's not right. But if you look in the mirror, you see yourself. Uh, so, would you go to the extra mile for that person in the mirror? You make a habit of going the extra mile for the person in the mirror. Well, then go there. Good. Uh, love your neighbor as yourself, as that person in the mirror. Love your neighbor just as your neighbor is the person in the mirror. Go do it for them. And okay, what if your neighbor was a person whom you see in the mirror? Yeah, you go do it for them. How far would you go? I've heard some people say, you go all the way. Would you? Would they? Well, if you get the habit of going all the way, someone's going to do it for you. You get into the habit of doing everything you can, someone's going to get into the habit of doing everything they can, and you will be one of the recipients. Mhm. Um, Matthew 5:44, the New International Version. We're doing a lot of stuff in Matthew today. Matthew 5:44. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Okay. Jesus is talking about your enemies on earth. The one enemy you can't do is the devil. He's your enemy. You don't have to love him. Ah, he'll never turn. It will never turn. Uh, so I asked God what he meant by enemy. Now this is God's chapter, not mine. Enemy is one who will not lift a finger in to help you. Will not lift a finger to help you. Even if he could, he will not. Especially when he thinks, I don't know him. So what? He will not. So he became your enemy right off. Huh, not good. he also would love to see you fail. That is bad. Uh, but Jesus said to love such a person, go the extra mile for them. Tell you, going the extra mile for them will, yeah, so heap burning holes on their head. You heard that expression before? Well, heap burning holes on their head. The only way they can relieve themselves for that is going the extra mile for someone else. And Tony, you do this, and possibly it will possibly affect their life. Hey, you don't know. They might get born again because you go the extra mile for them. Hey, be you might be you might be the cause of them going to Christ. Hey, hey, that's pretty good. Yeah. Anyway, um, what I want you to do, go, go the extra mile for someone. Be calm, take time and look Jesus. And hey, adios, goodbye, no worries. Hey, just pray in tongues and thank God. God bless. Okay. Praise